16. Finance companies have been lagging behind other sectors when it comes to embracing the cloud. And while the industry has been rewarded for years for being cautious, this is one area where its tendency to stick to the status quo may be holding it back from opportunities. Market penetration of cloud technologies in the sector sits at just 13%. So for more on how finance firms can embrace the cloud and whether the scepticism is indeed justified, Host Analytics CEO Dave Kellogg joins us now from our Sydney CBD studio. Mr. Kellogg, thanks very much for your time. Why has there been scepticism and there's such a slow uptake in that finance space?
Sure. Well, finance people, they have kind of a balanced viewpoint. On the one hand, they're conservative and traditional, but on the other hand, they seek efficiency and cost savings. And we believe that while historically this side has won out, increasingly they're getting more aggressive in seeking the benefits of the cloud.
So is there fundamentally a concern over security, over privacy that has held them back?
I think in the past, yes. I think that's a good point. Quite ironically, most of the major data breaches have involved private companies, not cloud service providers.
That's interesting because, look, 13%, if someone said it was low, it's hard to believe that's very, very low. Were you surprised at the low level of market penetration?
No, I actually think it's a huge opportunity because for us it means there's 87% yet to go after. So from our perspective, the time is now. These firms have been prudent, they've been cautious, but the benefits are simply too compelling to continue to resist.
And what is the pitch then? What is the compelling case for them to come across to the cloud? How do you present it?
Sure. Ultimately, it comes down to two things. Cost of ownership. Cloud systems run at typically 1/4 of the cost of their on-premises alternatives. And the other one would be system ownership by the organization, the reduced dependence on the IT department. Those two things together are very compelling.
And is it something that is being received well at the moment, particularly here in Australia?
Absolutely. We are running a series of events. We just did one yesterday in Sydney, and we're wrapping up tomorrow in Melbourne. We've had hundreds of finance people come talk to us about the cloud, and the message is being very well received. And
is there, I suppose, an underlying understanding of the benefits as well? I appreciate the slow take-up, but beyond that, is there an understanding of the benefits?
Absolutely. When I first started doing this, I thought ignorance was the issue, that people didn't know. And that wasn't the case. They knew about the benefits. They just wanted them to be more proven. They wanted to see the security issues shake out. They wanted to be sure that it would be a good decision for them going forward.
Has this been something unique to the Australian market, or is it something that you see in other markets around the world?
I actually think the Australian market has been pretty aggressive in moving to the cloud. The people I've spoken with are not afraid to take risks that are good business decisions, that save the organization's money. They're not afraid, if you will, to fly a bit under corporate radar to get the job done.
And is this what attracts Host Analytics to Australia?
Absolutely. We think there's a big opportunity here to sell cloud financial systems because of that. Is
it a competitive space for you, though? We speak to a lot of people in regards the cloud. I suspect there's plenty of competition out there.
Absolutely. Most of our competition comes from the old way of doing things, the legacy systems from vendors like Oracle and SAP, and the relative stranglehold that they have on their customers. That's really the competitor.
So what is the competitive edge that Host Analytics has?
Sure, we can come in and do the same job at about 1/4 of the cost. We can get you up running in 2 or 3 months as opposed to 2 or 3 years in some cases. We deliver new software 4 times a year, whereas the on-premises vendors deliver it maybe once every 2 years. It's just the whole faster, better, cheaper argument that goes inherent with the cloud.
And just on the cost side of the equation, is it something that is prohibitive to smaller size enterprises, or are there sort of bespoke, tailored options depending on the size and needs of a business?
Well, that's one of the great things about the cloud, is it actually opens up the down market. There are companies who could never have afforded SAP or Siebel who are now able to buy their cloud equivalents because of the greatly reduced cost of ownership. So the cloud doesn't just disrupt the enterprise, it actually enables small and medium businesses to use kind of enterprise-class software.
And do you also speak about the need to remain competitive and productivity benefits with going to the cloud versus staying with traditional methods?
Absolutely. Productivity is a huge driver for the types of software that we sell and for deploying it in the cloud. There's relentless pressure on business to improve margins and improve growth. and we can help in both those departments.
Fantastic. Unfortunately, run short of time, but Dave Kellogg, appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Time for a quick break. Coming up, ad blocking, how it's not only hurting revenue, but importantly, information about trends in consumers. Stay with us.